Hey, what's going on, guys? It's MaxMax24, and it's Tuesday, which means it's time for another Tuesday Talks. Before I get into that, please always remember to drop a like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, all that jazz, all that stuff us YouTubers tell you guys to do. Also, put in some comments, some recommendations for a Tuesday Talks topic. I'm really running out on some ideas, so, give me some. Just, please, someone give me some. Well, this week, we're talking about a controversial topic, and that is the existence of gaming disorder. So for those of you who don't know, the World Health Organization, or WHO, it's a dumb acronym, but WHO might be classifying gaming disorder as an actual recognized illness. And of course, the internet is pushing back against this heavily. The gaming industry is pushing back against this heavily. People hate this idea. People believe that gaming disorder is not a thing. This is dumb. This shouldn't happen. There's not enough information known. Well, I'm here to play the devil's advocate and say gaming disorder does exist to an extent. Alright? I know it's a controversial topic, a controversial statement. I'll just see myself out. But if you want to hear me out, just stick with the video. Gaming disorder, as it's being described by WHO, it has 3 levels. It's manifested by impaired control over gaming, that's onset, frequency, intensity, duration, termination, or context. Increasing priority given to gaming to the extent that gaming takes precedence over the other interests and daily activities of the user. And finally, continuation or escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences. As it's phrased now, I do not believe this is what gaming disorder is. Alright? This is saying it's gaming right now is it's a hobby for a lot of people. Alright? It's a hobby for me, it's a hobby for many people. It's just a hobby. There's no reading disorder. If people decide to read over doing other daily activities, there's no TV disorder if people decide to watch TV over other daily activities, but they think gaming needs a disorder if you put it precedence over other daily activities. Okay, I'd rather play some video games than go hang out with like some long lost relative. I'd rather play some video games. That does not mean I have gaming disorder. As it's described now, that would maybe mean that. I'd rather play video games than go to school. And as it's described now, that would be a disorder. But it's not. It's just called a hobby. What I believe gaming disorder is when you play and play and play. This goes to their third point. Continuation of escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences. Alright, when people play and play and play, while their body's falling apart, or, the world around them's falling apart, their, household, or just everything's falling apart, and they continue playing, even if the games are ruining their life, that is an addiction. That's a disorder, alright? People have died playing video games. It's true. Look it up. You can find lists of people dying from long gaming binges all the time. People go to these internet cafes and they die. They don't leave. They sit there playing games all day and then they end up dying. All right? That is when it's a disorder. If you play and play and play and shun out the real world and then end up dying, that is a disorder. If you shun out the real world when playing video games, that's when it becomes a disorder. Alright, if you're just playing a lot, that's when it's a hobby. And right now, as it's described by WHO, they're describing it like a hobby, except for the third point. The other two, increased priority given to gaming to the extent that gaming takes precedence over other life interests and daily activities, that's just a hobby. Many people's hobbies take precedence over life interests and it is a life interest, alright? A hobby is a life interest. And the second point of it is it's explaining it more as a hobby because people do put precedence over their hobbies sometimes before over daily activities. Alright, that's how that works. That's what people do. And also, that's kind of redundant, that statement, because gaming is a life interest and a daily activity for a lot of people. So it's not like it's putting precedence over them, it's just a different activity that other people might not want to do, but us gamers do want to do that. And then the first point, impaired control over gaming, for example, onset, frequency, intensity, duration, termination, context. Alright, that has to be more clearly defined, I think. Because I'll sit down, like for Extra Life, I'll play 24 hours for Extra Life. I'll stream it live. I'll keep playing 24 hours. I'll do that. But I'll also eat. I'll do all this stuff. But if you don't describe the frequency and intensity that you're talking about in the point one, then that 24 hours could be seen as gaming disorder when I'm just doing it for charity. All right? I'm not doing it because I'm so addicted that I can't leave the screen. I'm doing it for charity. So if you don't describe the first point, then people will be misdiagnosed constantly. That's one thing that the Entertainment Association of America is saying, is that they need to learn more, they need to educate more to avoid misdiagnosis of this. I believe is true, because right now, as it's described, except for the third point, it sounds more like a hobby, and a hobby is not a disorder. Again, there is no reading disorder, there is no TV disorder, there is no sports disorder, so why gaming disorder? Again, people do die playing games, alright? So that's where I think it exists. I think it exists when you're putting yourself in the situation that you will constantly play, you're shunning the real world, and you're just constantly playing to the point where you're not even caring about your body. That's when it's a disorder. When you're just sitting down for long hours and playing, maybe getting up once in a while, eating some food, that's not a disorder. But right now, as it's described here, it could be considered a disorder, but that's not, that's just a hobby. But also, why stop at gaming disorder, alright? Focusing on gaming shuns out the other technological disorders. There is a problem, alright? People will spend hours just sitting, browsing their phone. There is a problem there. People can't even drive without going on their phone. Alright, they cannot go from point A to point B without going on their phone. People can't sit in a conversation, in a room, have a conversation with each other without going on their phone. Alright? That is a disorder. Gaming is a hobby. Again, there is a gaming disorder, but that's when you shun the real world. But there's also a normal screen disorder. So to clump gaming by itself makes people think that gaming's the problem, when it's not. Alright? Social media is more of a problem than gaming is. Screens in general are more of a problem than just gaming is. Alright? People spend hours browsing social media, hours doing this, hours doing that, and sometimes it ends up killing them. Alright? They end up sometimes taking their own life. But you don't see people screaming at social media. They're screaming at gaming. But this goes to gaming has always had a stigma. Always. Ever since its invention, gaming has had a stigma around it. And this just goes to show you that there is still a stigma around it. That gaming, instead of being considered a hobby, it's being considered a disorder. Alright? Again, there is a disorder. If you are playing for long periods of time and shunning out the real world to the point where you could die, that's a disorder. But as it's explained right here by the World Health Organization, it is a hobby. And gaming has never been considered a hobby by a lot of people. The world seems to consider it a problem. It's dangerous. They've always done that. As long as I've played, as long as many people have played video games, they have always considered it dangerous. And that's just not right. You don't see people considering reading dangerous. And reading's been around a lot longer than gaming has. But people consider gaming dangerous and therefore need to be classified as disorder. And as I explained right now, anybody who's playing games for a long period of time could be considered having this disorder, and that is not right. It's not right. But there is a select few who would have a disorder, and that's the ones who can't even go out, can't even look at the real world and just play video games their entire time at the risk of their health. That's all I gotta say on this subject. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, always remember to drop a like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, all that jazz, all that fun stuff us YouTubers tell you guys to do. Please tell me some more topics for Tuesday. I need some more. I'm trying to get one out every week, but I'm running out of topics. I need some more. Please let me know. Find some topics. Please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And with that, I hope to see you in the next video.